Good morning. So today I was thinking about, thinking about a purpose-driven life versus sustaining an existence that is based off of other people and how they feel about our existence, which should not be so. Always best man. And that's important because I was imparted by a group of individuals for not just any reason in particular, but for a specific reason, and that was in defense of subsequent claims that arose from us being the plaintiffs in a court case, and the aftermath and narrative or the motion or the filing sustains some participation in whole or in part on behalf of a member of the popular, subsequently unfortunate. Now we understand and we have some sort of context about how does this happen or how does it come to be and arise. And that's based off of the initial acts of an individual who utilized our assets in our real estate over the course of decades to sustain an existence elsewhere. And so this person has a considerable amount of information or has instituted amongst his colleagues, subsequent participants in this scheme that somewhere between the initial act and between approaching us and some initial act down the line of actually commencing a transfer or selling property or something like that, they had to identify that amongst their career, lawyers, accountants, financial advisors, business managers, the requirements to report such things with inventory, what is going on here. I believe they sustained a business relationship that was more than casual because they existed in an industry that for the most part is based off of numbers, and that's the MBA. And so you have accountants and business managers who account for things, and so they identified just the amount that was involved and made a decision that is based off of what? Numbers, human lives. And strategy wasn't just to break even because they had no intention on paying the original owners, but instead had convoluted or ideated some sort of plan or strategy by which completely puts them in the clear and without having to pay us. Whether it's a contract or proposal, they have not exhausted all of those potentials, which is bad for business. And it's never too late to do good business, but rationally they haven't figured out that once they have made those steps towards acquiring those properties illegally without proper notice or transfer of title or holding of title, that's a step out of business, because every act now that you have created, like moving in people who you pay for whichever reason, is thus becomes some sort of criminal act instead of a day to day or a part of your business strategy, because it's not. And conflict in community like that simple imbalance creates a potential that is bad for everyone in the community. And communities aren't sustained based off of some sort of hierarchy, but instead communities maintain equality and a sound cultural rhythm based off of this spirit of entrustment that is sustained by our own actions, like voting and like being a law-abiding citizen, like paying your taxes. These systems of entrustment that work on our behalf are what sustains humanity, equality, and the continuity thereof of these virtues. And it also takes a set of values and morals and something you believe in, and that goes beyond faith too. Before you can have blind faith or be a faithful person, or you first have to be faithful to yourself, and that means treating yourself well and maybe practicing what you preach. I don't know, but that is the first thing, and that's even far greater than a belief system, because you can believe in Tom and Jerry and become a couch potato, but a set of morals and standards and virtues that you stand by, what you will do, it's the bottom line, because it designates or delineates what you will and what will not do. And that's the difference between living a purpose-driven life and one, aside from one that is distinguished by an abstract of some of speculation or a cynicalism or gossip or something like that, which isn't a reality, and doesn't sustain a valid value system in civil society. But in other markets or industries, it may have some sort of substantiating or deciding factor regarding longevity in someone's career, reputation, all of that. But for the most part, we don't get up and have a need to upend and breach the virtues of guardianship for the sake of making a point outside of its proper venue, and that's virtue of existing. And so, but when you do live a purpose-driven life, you understand that, for me, public policy begins as soon as we wake up, and that includes design and logistics and communications, emergency response, to make my point, and that's a beautiful thing, and it's about us. That's when you understand and realize that public policy is designed for us, even though it's one of those things that isn't primal of immediate speculation or like a fanciful thing, or but it is virtuously about humanity. And when we understand that outside of the scope of our careers and ambitions or what have you, we begin to understand that that's a beautiful thing. And we begin to understand that hospitals and all these things, emergency response, are built around us, and it's for us, and it's not it's not some afterthought. But as soon as we wake up, we have these things available to us, and that's a beautiful idea and realization. So thus, living becomes or our intention becomes something that is guarded and gilded by a set of virtues, values, and morals, or morals and standards, instead of an intent for conflict, by which creates imbalance in society. And that's that's important, because some people exist in spaces where that type of spectacle has become some sort of vertical, and for the most part, this is all that matters. And so, non-material circumstances could really affect their careers, like gossip or what have you, or some bad press. But that doesn't mean the rest of society, even consumers, waive their rights, and for the most part, abandon their civility. But instead, that should be an opportunity to examine just the pulse of where we are at in society, not just the trends or what people are doing and what they're surfing or searching on the internet per data mining companies and all those things, but instead, what type of society are we truly shaping with this interdependency between consumers or the public at large and public figures, and whatever it is that they do, and why they have either offered a public offering, or they are a member of the Hollywood system or what have you. It's not something that should superimpose on the rest of society and our country's laws, but instead, they should learn how to communicate more effectively between the political and the popular, and addressing these issues without much overreach from the popular, because sometimes their careers can superimpose on their ability to do certain things. Where, say for example, a job requires someone to go and study at a morgue, or to do research at a morgue. That's the beginning and end and scope of their visit to this morgue. It doesn't mean that they can go to morgues all the time and play with cadavers and then do all these type of things, or with the police. Their superstardom or success shouldn't be one that is based off of an impending need of protection, or just an impending need of protection based off of their level of celebrity, but instead that everything within reason, and that means that the boundaries between the public as consumers and the popular